Hey everyone, and welcome back to UpThink. In today's video, we will learn about the 10 mind tricks that can help us learn quickly. Before we begin, remember to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell icon below to see more of our content. Now let us start. First, the sleep sandwich. Imagine you have an important presentation and only one day to prepare. How do you learn a lot of information in the least amount of time? Most people try cramming. They study their notes and review their lines for hours. They'll pull an all-nighter if they have to. Despite their hard work, they forgot 50% of their stuff they want to remember. Most of the content they crammed into their heads never sees the light of day. Why is that? Because it never finds a place in their long-term memory. You can expose your brain to new stimuli, but it only retains a small percentage of them because you need time to store information in your memory. That is the problem with late-night study sessions. You're not allowing the brain to encode everything you need to remember. This is the #1 reason why scientists recommend the sleep sandwich instead of a long study session. You should study, sleep, and then study some more. The sleep sandwich is a brilliant way to learn faster because sleep helps you retain information. In fact, storing memories is one of the best functions of a good night's sleep. When your consciousness goes to bed, your unconsciousness is actively storing memories. But when you pull an all-nighter, you prevent your brain from learning and retaining those memories. Hurting your brain's overall performance, tiredness leaves your brain feeling foggy, slow, and unproductive. Do not bother studying until 4 a.m. if you need to squeeze in some last-minute learning and studying. Get a good night's sleep for a few hours and pick up where you left off in the morning. Second, Modification as Mastery. Do you know what the illusion of mastery is? Is it a common pitfall that you might experience when learning something new? Master a few fundamental techniques and then find yourself an expert at, say, learning how to draw. People think of themselves as competent artists after seeing one good sketch. They see the quality of the first drawing and assume they know everything. They must be aware that it is quickly dull. Just because it is simple does not mean you have mastered it. How do you stop yourself from falling into this trap? A great way to learn any subject is to use modification. Let us say you have gotten good at drawing faces from the start, and it is starting to seem a little stale. You feel like you're not learning anything. It is time to put yourself to the test and make a slight modification to your original routine. Use an additional drawing tool to draw a face from a slightly different angle and challenge yourself to go faster. Each of these minor changes play a critical role in keeping your practice from becoming dull. They help you work on your weakness, and most importantly, help you remain humble throughout the learning process. Third, weaving subjects. In 2008, a group of researchers discovered something counterintuitive about learning something faster by studying something else. In this study, researchers asked certain people to identify countless artists based on 6 of their paintings. Half of the participants saw each artist's paintings in blocks, while the other half observed how the paintings had been mixed up. Who do you think has retained more information? The scrambled group performed significantly better. Why is that? Interweaving different styles and subjects solidify new knowledge in your memory. Leave a comment below on which of these tricks you will apply in real life. This first set of rules can significantly impact our work and study habits. That is an adjustment that is worth the risk. Fourth, chewing gum. Did you know that chewing gum makes your brain quickly learn new things? Some people chew gum to keep their breath fresh, while others enjoy the mint flavor. Studies have shown that chewing gum has a variety of cognitive advantages. To begin with, gum chewers typically have better attention spans and life experience. This was discovered in a 2011 study where participants took several quizzes in a noisy setting. Under normal circumstances, confusion and anxiety brought on by a chaotic testing environment would have significantly decreased productivity. People who chew gum remain more concentrated and release fewer stress-related hormones, even in a distracting environment. In other words, chewing gum allowed them to focus and maintain composure. Not only that, but a 2009 study found that chewing lengthens attention span and increases vigilance. Another study from 2015 found that chewing gum can keep you cheerful and motivated while working. 2 additional studies from the early 2000s discovered that chewing gum in various flavors increases your brain's adaptability and receptivity. Unmistakably, dozens of studies show that this simple habit provides many benefits, including learning faster, performing better, and concentrating longer. Next time you sit down and work, remember to grab a stick of gum. Fifth, intellectual hydration. Did you know that something as straightforward as a glass of water can sharpen your mind? According to a 2012 study, staying hydrated during a test can significantly affect your grades. In fact, college students who drank water during exams performed up to 10% better, earning a full letter grade higher as a result. Getting enough water will help you perform better on tests, remember new information, and solve more challenging problems. Why? Because drinking enough water keeps your brain functioning normally. There is never a wrong time or place to stay hydrated. Take a moment to imagine that you're reading a book while relaxing on the couch. Making a nice cup of tea would only take a minute, but that single cup does much more than just keep you hydrated. It speeds up your short-term memory and improves your long-term memory, claims a 2014 study. It inspires you to want to learn something new. Grab a drink, no matter what you're doing, studying, reading, or even listening to a podcast. Your brain will thank you, I assure you. Sixth, multiple mediums. Do you study the same way every single time? Have you been using flashcards or study guides for every test you've taken? If you have, you should mix things up. Try blending styles by using flashcards, drawing a diagram, and saying the information aloud when studying. By blending styles together, you activate new parts of your brain. You store more detailed sensory information and begin understanding concepts from different perspectives. Refrain from falling back on the same tricks. Experiment with multiple mediums every time to retain more information. Comment below a tip that has helped you retain more information faster when studying or working. What multiple mediums do you usually use on a daily basis? Leave your comment in the comment section. Seventh, speed reading. An average person can read about 200 words per minute, around 2 minutes per page. It seems fast, but it is not as impressive as it sounds. In fact, it is the same speed people used to read 100 years ago. Here's the problem. The total amount of information in the world is doubling every single year. How do you keep up? You can absorb more information in a matter of weeks by teaching yourself to read between 700 and 1,000 words per minute. You will not be able to read everything the world has to offer, but you will definitely blaze through a good chunk of it. Eighth, musical stress relief. Many claim that listening to music while they work makes them more productive, while others say they need it to focus. Some people simply cannot study without it playing in the background. Does music aid in learning more quickly? According to studies, listening to music increases your mind's receptivity to new information. The most significant benefit of listening to music files covertly is that it is an effective stress reliever. It also improves your memory by activating different areas of the brain. Both test anxiety and general feelings of relaxation are markedly reduced by it. In other words, listening to music can improve mood and sharpen thinking. It helps you think clearly and be more confident and productive no matter what. Ninth, practice in pieces. What happens if you read all your notes at once? What exactly can you recall? Most likely much less than you anticipate. Due to its design limitations, large amounts of information cannot be stored simultaneously in the human brain. Daily, we can interact with a range of stimuli. Rather than remembering a vast amount of visual and auditory data in one sitting, it is more beneficial to break information down into smaller, more manageable chunks. This approach makes it easier to retain the material you're studying. By breaking down the material into smaller parts, you can focus on specific points and concepts without becoming overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. You will retain much more if you spend smaller chunks of time while learning a small amount of information. 10th, the hard path. When faced with a new task, you will likely look for shortcuts immediately. Everyone is interested in learning how to memorize information quickly. Taking the challenging route will ultimately be more fruitful. Even though it seems like a waste of time, handwritten notes stick in your memory even though they're much slower to write and less convenient than typing. To have the same cognitive effect, you would have to retype your notes. The takeaway is that the most difficult path is the one that can have the most significant impact, and shortcuts only sometimes help you learn more quickly. Hey, thank you for taking the time to watch UpThink. Remember to like, subscribe, and press the notification button below to see more of our content. I'll see you all in the following video. Bye guys!